In the everyday grind of reselling, sometimes we have to figure out our why. What is your why for getting up every day and doing what you do? I want to talk to you about that here on the other side. So, without any further ado, let's go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is John with Flippin' Ain't Easy. And I think it's obvious for everyone what your why actually is when you're reselling. It's the money, right? But what keeps you motivated, keeps you in the grind? And for me, it might surprise you. Yes, money is definitely a motivating factor. Paying your bills, having enough money coming in so that you can have a little extra to do the things that you might want to do. Living in Vegas, there's all kinds of stuff to do, and it's kind of a shame. It's depressing, really, if you can't get out and enjoy things that you want to do once in a while, regardless of whatever that is. Could be something that's free, but your time is also spent, which is the same as, in my opinion, as money. You're spending all day working and not saving any of that time for yourself. It's the same as being broke, as far as I'm concerned. But what is your why? What is your motivating factor to get out here? And in some cases, like for me, this hot garage, which I've insulated, by the way, and it's helped by about 5 or 10 degrees, but it's still pretty hot out here. What's the motivating factor? Why do I do what I do? Why? Well, I'll show you. I don't know if you can see this behind me, but you see a wall of boxes here. I kind of I've overplayed my hand a little bit here over the last couple weeks, where I've just been in this buying frenzy because I think sometimes we recall some of the things that go on, a lot of the negative things, right? Things that we could have done better, like let's say in previous years. So for me, last year was a sort of an eye opener. After summer came and went, a lot of you guys were improving with your sales. Mine kind of did the opposite. I kind of fell off by about 20-25% in sales, and that carried over through Q4. And at first, I couldn't really figure out why. Why is it that in the summer I was having such a hard time making sales? And then, here we are, we're getting ready for Q4 coming out of summer, and the sales were just not really all that great for us. And it got me to thinking, what's the one thing that I was able to do in the summer that I wasn't really able to do well in the fall, getting into like October, November? By then, if you don't have merchandise, it's kind of too late. That is sourcing. I didn't have very good sourcing after the summer. And I think a lot of it is people get in this mindset where they're gearing up, they're ramping up. So maybe they're in a cruise control mode for the first 3 quarters, and just prior to Q4, they start getting serious about reselling. And that means that, they maybe pooled their money, they're spending a little extra for extra merchandise for Q4 because everyone, believes that that is the pinnacle time of year to make money and sell on online. For me, it's not. It's the summer for whatever reason. So it got me to thinking, you know what? I don't want to get stuck in that rut because, yes, I am ponying up more money. So I think the mindset that a lot of people have is that, well, sales are slow. I just don't have the money to be putting into more merchandise, or because of the news of a recession or whatever, I just don't want to be stuck with merchandise. So then people are going to scale back. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for, but I'm not banking on it, and I'm not going to follow that path. I'm going to really ramp up as much room as I can actually muster. I'm going to be buying merchandise. I have 3 more pallets next week. Hopefully, Archie, if you're watching, you can help me with that. Tuesday, 2 pallets. Wednesday, a pallet. Good stuff, really good stuff. But it's causing me to, like a Saturday, Sunday, I'm out here a little bit here and there, maybe listing 4 or 5 items, $300, $400, $500 in merchandise and calling it a day. Well, it's kind of got me into all hands on deck mode where I have to just work, 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 work. And not to mention the distractions. And yes, we love them, but it's Jenna's sisters that came out. Of course, they did their concert thing. You are entertaining people when they come out to visit you. And when you're entertaining people, you can't get the same workload in. And my store is really showing me that I need to get my S together. I had 200 items in the store when they came out. I have 181, 182. I listed a few items this morning when I had a chance. They did leave to the airport today, so that means that there's no more excuses. I need to get my butt out here and get these things listed because I will not on Tuesday, Wednesday have the room for more two plus pallets because I'm probably going to give one to Archie if he comes out and helps me out. I'm just that kind of guy. Come out and help me. I'm gonna make sure you're compensated. I could either do that or rent a van, but I know that even if I rent a van, I got no place for a third pallet. I'm trying to make room for two, and I don't even have room for one more, maybe one more. That's my challenge. That's my why. And of course, when you get going and you start building up your store, you got good merchandise, quality stuff, you're going to get sales, and sales equals money. So I know the money part's going to take care of itself, but I want to make sure that if I'm ramping up my purchasing, that I'm not going to find myself without a place to put some stuff. I mean, we've always talked about what would happen. You know, we talked about getting a shed. Maybe that's an option, and it still is kind of in the cards. But you're looking at for a decent quality shed that I can put up out here on the cement slab that we have out in the backyard. Pretty decent sized back area. You know, a 10 by 10 is probably going to cost you every bit of 2 grand for one. And then I have to play, builder and put the thing together. I'm not the greatest at doing that kind of stuff. It took me a whole day to put this barbecue grill together that I have. And time is money, right? Time away doing that kind of thing is time that I don't have to actually get this stuff listed. So it's, kind of a catch 22. You need to be spending time getting your stuff listed, but you also need to spend time making sure that you have a clean work area, you have a organized work area, you have a work area that's not cluttered with stuff. And a storage unit would be just that. Now I could go rent a storage unit. The idea behind that has always been unsettling because I like the idea of having my items here. I don't want to make trips to go pick up one item at a storage unit. It just seems like a waste of time and money. So if we're spending $300 a month, I'm just guessing. I haven't even done the homework to find out. But if you're spending $200-300 a month in a storage unit, that tends to add up. After 10 months, you could have bought a shed to put out in the backyard. So it's something that I'm considering all options because if I'm making the conscious decision to gear up and ramp up how much items, my inventory, how many items that I have here to get listed, then I need to have a plan for that. And I'm kind of acting without having a logical plan. And my plan has been just outlist my buying, and that's not happening with all the distractions and things going on. So it's time to maybe get smart and think about it and just figure out what I want to do at this point. So stay tuned on that. If anything happens with what I do and if I change my methods, I'll let you know. But in the meantime, we're getting stuff on the other account, things that I'm finding a lot of these parts or repairs, a lot of these vacuums that I'm getting a lot of vacuums. And sometimes, you'll find that you'll get a complete vacuum that works, may even look new, but if you really dive in, you'll see that you can actually make more money from just the parts than you can selling a complete unit. So just something I've talked about before, but something you might want to keep in mind. So that's what I'm doing. I know my why. I know why I'm out here right now. I know why I'm going to be working my tail off for the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I know why I need to keep buying and figuring out that situation. But not buying for me is just not the right path because I've gone down that road last year, like we talked about, and I don't want to do that again in Q4. We want to keep the ball rolling, and I think sometimes you just have to learn from your experience. I don't want to call it a mistake because I just think that things were a lot more expensive. I mean, I just didn't want to go beyond my threshold. As usually, you guys know, I usually like to pay 16% of MSRP when we're dealing with liquidation. And I was finding decent lots, but I wasn't paying 20-25%. It just doesn't make sense to me. So that's where I'm at, guys. I want to know what you think. Comment down below. I want to know what your why is, what gets you up every morning, and what motivates you to get this stuff done. are you even motivated at all? I mean, that's another issue that we have to talk about. If you're not motivated to get your stuff done, you create death piles and you just are going to hate things if you have a lot of stuff like I do and no drive to get it listed. So figure out what you need to do. But I think it starts with your motivation starts with why are you doing this? And if it's simple as look, I got to pay my bills or go back to a 9 to 5, that should be enough motivation to get you going every single day and to get working, guys. It's a job. No matter what people tell you, how it's represented, this may be technically your own business, but it is simply a job that you've created for yourself. And there ain't no boss to tell you what to do. And if you fail yourself, well, your competition is going to outwork you. And don't fail. Don't allow yourself to fail, and don't allow um, yourself to overlook your why and why you're doing this. So get out there. It may not even be something you want to do today, but I promise you, you're going to feel better for the efforts that you make. So, guys, figuring all that out, why you do this is yet another example of how sometimes flipping ain't easy. Want you guys to have an excellent rest of your weekend, and we will talk to you very soon.